Hello, beautiful souls. Thank you so much for being here. I have felt called to just do a little reading today. It's raining outside. It's a little bit stormy, but I cracked the window because I think that the sound of rain is deeply soothing and beautiful. So that's what's going on in the background. As per usual, I would invite you to take a nice big inhale as we start this little hangout that we have here. Breathing in and a nice slow exhale. Tapping into where you're sitting or standing, lying down. Maybe you're walking around. That's perfectly fine. Just feel the ground beneath you and where your body meets the ground. Nice big inhale and a nice big exhale. On the next inhale, just maybe tune into what it is that you're feeling today, what it is that you're wanting from this reading or expecting, what it is that your intention is for the day and for this moment in your life. Maybe what's bothering you, what's lighting you up. Just taking a minute to tune into that. And releasing all the pressures of the day just for a moment. So let's call in our spirit guides and our higher selves to be here with us right now. Calling in my guides, opening up to channel for us today. I'm really feeling this beautiful lullaby energy, this like calming wave. I'm kind of rocking back and forth right now, and I think it's a way for me to calm my own nervous system. But when I close my eyes, I can see I'm like in a swing in a tree, or like in a bassinet, or in a wave, like kind of just like rocking on some waves. So again, I think that all of us here today are in need of just a little bit of calm, a little bit of grounding. And just, I think there's a need to feel held and cared for, and to release the burden of responsibility just for a minute. Today I was at work, and after I was finished work, I thought I would do a reading there at my place of work, which is like a studio. And it's quite homey, and usually I feel really comfortable there, but for whatever reason I just was so drained by the environment and so drained by just in general feeling exhausted, that when I tried to open up and tried to kind of even tap into that creative energy, the channel, and to become that channel, I just like couldn't do it. And I started recording and my voice just failed. Like I just couldn't say anything, and I got exhausted and I shut down. And that happens to me, I have noticed, when I'm honestly just exhausted, or when I'm in the wrong environment, or I haven't taken care of my energy properly, as in I haven't supported myself in the ways that I need to, like either eating, resting, showering, putting myself in the right environment that feels comfortable and cozy and not sensory overload, blah, blah, blah. Like there's so many ways that that I do that. I'm pulling my sheets down a little. And that we all do for, in different ways. But anyway, I have noticed that that's been my pattern, like over many, many, many moons at this point. So when it happened earlier today, I just decided to get the fuck out of the studio and come home and be in my cozy bedroom where I feel so contained and safe and comfy. And as soon as I entered this space, I'm telling you, I thought I was going to need like an hour-long nap, blah, blah, blah. And since I've been in here, I've just instantly been centered and open, basically. So just a little anecdote then to share, like, you have to listen to your body. Your body is always wise. It's never, ever lying to you. It's not telling you things you don't want to hear and you have to fight it and like try to force yourself into new shapes. Like, your body is literally the one, and your brain, because your whole self, your whole soma, right? Like, it's telling you what is wrong always. There are no exceptions. So you get to decide in that moment, or as soon as you can, like what you're going to do about it and how you're going to listen. Right? The more you do that, the more easy it becomes. That was a really tricky one for me to learn, especially with a history of trauma around specifically not being allowed to have boundaries, not being allowed to have autonomy of my own body and my own needs, and space and energy. So any of you out there who have experienced prolonged gaslighting over what it is that you needed to feel healthy and safe and yourself, I get it. And it's really, really hard to recover from that. There actually is a process of recovery that needs to happen that is not to be taken lightly. It's a thing, and it can take years. Okay. So we have the Blessing to Begin card. Isn't that lovely? So just like so many of the readings that I've been doing recently, there is an energy of a new beginning here with us. And then bottom of the deck, so like underlying energy, we have the little one rises. So definitely this energy of rising up, of also of like, again, these springtime themes of like baby animals and new life starting is here as well. The little one rises to me is, there's a butterfly in this image as well, a yellow butterfly. So what I'm feeling with that is, not only is this a new beginning, but there's a shift, a transformation happening from a sense of being small to a sense of being grand, from childhood to adolescence or adulthood. Like, there's an actual transformation, like a graduation occurring for those of us here right now listening to this reading. There's a sacred opening to, like it's a portal to a new experience of life, a new expression of life that we're walking through right now. And to rise up, so I'm hearing the little one rises. It's so stunning because it's like little old me, like just being a drop in the sea, like that metaphor that I had at the beginning of the reading of the ocean waves that I was like kind of rocking on. We're all just little drops in the sea, and sometimes that can make us feel so small, especially when we are so overwhelmed by the noise around us of other people and other voices and other, you know, examples of success and examples of leadership and bravado and bigness. Like, there's a lot, not only our own human reflections of ourselves, like in each other, and seeing how far forward somebody is in their path or how successful someone is versus like where we're at, but also in this grander scale of the divine and the whole universe, and how small we are in comparison to the vastness of this world, right, of this universe. In some ways we can look at, or we can feel as expansive as the universe itself in some moments when we tap into the divine energy of like love and connection. And that can be an incredibly beautiful, like ecstatic experience to tap into that bigness. But there's also sometimes the feeling of humility when we tap into divinity, when we tap into the world soul, to the vastness of existence and of what's available to us to even apply to our creativity and to engage with. Sometimes we can feel really, really insignificant and powerless and even hopeless, especially when the world is seemingly falling apart around us, and our collective well-being isn't even something to be banked on anymore. It's like there's so much falling apart and regressing, and there seems to be so little that we can do. And that's what I'm really feeling about this little one. I'm feeling that those of us here are kind of holding, lately at least, this feeling of smallness. And it can be in terms of our own lives, but also in terms of this like bigger collective experience of like, what am I meant to do? Will it even help? How can I help? Do I even want to? Is there anything that I can even do? I just feel really small. Like these are kind of the feelings I'm getting. And in that smallness, there's such a profound beauty as well. Like just because you're small doesn't mean you're not powerful, right? Like there is so much change that comes from even the smallest creatures on our planet. So size doesn't really have anything to do with it, right? It's like perspective. I just got a text, I'm sorry, that distracted me. And so the little one rises is talking about there being this opening, this portal now that we're walking through, where we're realizing that inherent power, that inherent worth in every single one of us, no matter how insignificant we might feel or look or seem or actually be. Like maybe we are insignificant in that way of like just being a drop in the ocean, but we're also completely significant because without all these drops, there couldn't be an ocean. So existing in that peace of knowing that you are the size you are what you are, and whatever you are is exactly perfect, exactly what it needs to be. And when you settle into that feeling, which is what is happening right now, it's that acceptance, then you can celebrate it. And you can rise up out of despair, out of a feeling of powerlessness, and dance and be free and show off what it is that you come here with. Like a butterfly, they have many gifts, and they have many gifts for many different people. sometimes, humans, a lot of the time, we like butterflies because they're pretty, because they remind us of things like beauty and spring and ease and delicateness and softness and creativity and, I don't know, like mystery. And they connect us to flowers. They remind us to look at the flowers, to engage with our life and to feed ourselves. And we like that. We like looking at butterflies for that reason. But the flowers like the butterflies because, they help them grow. They help them populate. They help them become more prolific, more ubiquitous. And butterflies also, they don't just pollinate and they don't just look pretty. They also are carrion eaters and waste eaters. So they help to break things down. They help to turn matter into nourishment for more matter to grow. So butterflies are like this really amazing, much deeper symbol than I think we give them credit for a lot of the time, where there really are, yes, they are creatures of the liminal space of the transition period, which I have been talking a lot about in my videos recently, because that's the time of year we're in right now. In springtime, things like the concept of transition and liminality and in-betweenness is really, really present. And butterflies are creatures of that space of transformation, but they exist on the other side. It's just that their story, right, like how they transform into what they are, is what is so engaging to us. It's like to literally completely change form outside of a womb. Like, like being one thing, going into a womb or chrysalis, and then emerging as another thing is absolutely magnificent to a human, right? Like, that's possible. But so the story of the butterfly tells us about the transformation phase, or the metamorphosis. But they also rule that energy. They are rulers of transition in another way, where in their final form, they help to make change out in the world. They help to, what's the word I'm looking for? They help to bring more life into being, while also breaking down that which is done, turning it into nourishment, into what we could maybe say is like wisdom, into food for more life. So everything they do, whether it is destructive or generative, is for the benefit, for the furthering of life. And that is where we're at. That is who you are. That's what you're doing. You are transforming in your little way, in your beautiful, small, like unique human way, into an agent for life, for beauty, for wisdom. And you've already come out of that chrysalis. Like, you are the little one, yes, but you now rise out of that transformation space, of that space of metamorphosis, and in your full-fledged form, you emerge. And that's what this blessing is. That's what the blessing to begin is. It's to begin again, to begin another life. And maybe this is the last life. Maybe, maybe this is your final form. Maybe this is the energy that you will be in for the rest of your life, and you will be this beautiful thing of beauty and life-affirming energy, where you just are a gift to the world. I think that everybody would say that butterflies are a gift to the world. I mean, if you don't, I don't know what's wrong with you, to be honest. You've got issues, you know what I mean? So, it's so beautiful, isn't it? Isn't that a beautiful message? Let's see what's next. Spirit of fire. So there's absolutely a creative force just like coursing through us right now, it's pulling us together as much as it is helping us to express ourselves individually. This is an energy that is bringing people together into groups to help them all grow together. When we come together around a commonality, like around the common fire. I mean, oh my God, this is really beautiful for me. I'm sorry, I'm just going to take a personal message because my channel is called The Hearth, and it's a bigger project that I've been working on for a while of basically bringing people together around like a fire, around, you know, the hearth being like the central fireplace of a home or of a city. So this is deeply resonant for me, hopefully for you too. So as I was saying, there's this beautiful creative energy that's bringing people, calling out to people like beacons. And it's like our creative spirits are being like gathered around each other in these perfectly resonant communities, these little pockets of companionship and community, where we can share our creativity, we can share our stories and share our visions, and it's on an equal plane. There's no guruship. There's no it's like we're doing away with hierarchies in our creative communities, in our spiritual communities. We're doing away with that now, and we're allowing people to speak as if there's like a talking stick going around, you know, like where we're sharing stories, but we're also like all kind of maybe singing together, and we're like, there's lots of things that are happening around this sacred fire. And our spirits are allowed to be authentic here. Fire it conjoins with itself so easily, you know, like it wants to become bigger, it wants to join itself, it wants to grow and take over, and it can be destructive, but the energy that I'm feeling right now is one of like a resting, like a fireplace, or not a fireplace, like a bonfire. And you can share that central fire with others. You can come and you can bring your torch and you can light it at the fire, and you can walk away with that. So what we're doing right now, what you're doing right now, is you are both sharing in the fire that is made by someone else or other people, or just the divine fire, you know, the divine spark of creativity and of life that maybe it's not a spark, maybe it is just like a bonfire that we can always return to, of energy, of source energy, and we can return to it, and we can light our own torches there, and then go about seeing our way through the dark and sharing our light with others and being seen because we have this light now. So you're tapping in to that divine source energy, that latent creative abundance that is always there and always ready to be expanded and enjoyed and used. You are also that bonfire for others. You can be that place that people come. And the thing with fire is that the only way to destroy it is really just to like stamp it out, right? But if people come and take from it, it doesn't diminish it at all. It literally just grows. So your energy cannot be taken from you. You can't be drained when you're doing things from a place of utter alignment with yourself, with your higher self, with your spirit, with your soul, because you're tapped into God, you're tapped into the divine, you're tapped into the universe, to that universal bonfire that cannot be extinguished. There is no extinguishing. And if somebody comes and lights a fire or lights their own torch from yours, it doesn't take away from your fire at all. You can't do that. It's impossible. And you're moving forward into this period of your life where that's the place that you're working from. And so it's so right for you, because no one can steal anything from you anymore. Like you're completely, you are like endlessly replenished by your own connection to divine. Let me just tap in to see if there's anything else. So what I will say is there is, okay, so first things first, walking in beauty. Like I said, when you walk in this light, when you walk with this fire burning in your spirit, in your heart, you can't be shaken from your path, nor can you be drawn down into like negative energy, right? But I will say that there was a trickster card that came up, and I do feel called to talk about it because I think that what it's trying to remind us of is the presence of illusion that it's not going to leave our world. We still live in this world, right, where we are dealing with things that are hard to hold, hard to manage in ourselves and around us. And all of that as well. And it has its own beauty. And existing in this world with the dark and with the light is just the way it is. And there is deep wisdom to be found in just accepting that, you know, and enjoying it even. And the trickster card, I'm just playing with it right now. I'm waiting for it to really come through with a clear message. Because trickster energy it's not negative. It's like a neutral. It's like chaotic neutral in Dungeons and Dragons alignment, character alignment stuff. Like, you know what I mean? It has it can go both ways. Like trickster gods and mythological beings have basically a 50-50 roster of like annoying things they've done, kind of horrible things they've done, and benevolent things that they do. And the point is that they are, in that sense, again, we come back to the idea of being an in-between, a liminal being, something that exists in both realms. We straddle both realms. We do not stay just in the light. We don't stay just in the dark. A trickster being acknowledges that it is both of shadow and light, and that it is neither. They're like the gods of non-binary. And that is, to me, that's everything. That's beautiful. That's my shit right there. They actually hold within them the knowledge that there is no evil. But by acknowledging that there is no evil, you also acknowledge that there is no good. And they teach that releasing notions of good and evil is coming back to truth, to real truth, which is paradoxically an illusion. There is no one way of looking at things. I don't know why this really deep, like, mystical message is coming through, but here we go, okay? Because I really was like, kind of like told to talk about trickster. So hopefully it's resonating with you as something that, like, an energy that maybe you are tapping into right now. Maybe you're releasing notions of good and bad. You're releasing expectations. You're maybe, you know, there's a lot of maybe like energy rethinking how you were conditioned, how you were brought up, the kinds of stories that you were told. Also looking at our own shadow and like, how are we judging ourselves and judging others for what they're doing, as, you know, just especially on the surface, like Are we not looking deeper into ourselves to see maybe why we are motivated to do something or to not do something? If we have a fear or we have a desire, like what is underneath? What's the shadow? What's the unseen motivation? Because usually when we go deeper and deeper and deeper, we encounter walls, like shame walls, where there's like an aspect of ourselves that is like shrouded in shame a lot of the time, or shrouded in a notion of like, you know, this is a shameful quality in me, or this is a bad quality in me, or this is a good quality that I aspire to, or that I think I have, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes even the things that we think are really good about ourselves are actually a product of a shame body inside us. And that's really liberating to find. So the trickster is here to remind us to look at ourselves really honestly, not just looking at the negative stuff to fix it, and not just looking at the positive stuff in ourselves and around the world to like celebrate and be mindless about. Look at everything. Look at everything with compassion. Look at everything with curiosity. Look at all the aspects of yourself, the talents and the struggles, or the positive traits and the negative traits, or the challenges and the easeful stuff. Look at all of that with an eye of simple curiosity, with an eye to understanding, not to judging, not to fixing, but to better understanding it. And that curiosity is really how we can kind of become friends with ourselves, and become deeper and become more self-aware, but also more secure and solid in ourselves. Because when we understand ourselves, when we create a friendship with all the parts of us inside, and I mean really a friendship, like a companionship, like a siblinghood, you know, a community within us, you know, like when we create that feeling of trust inside our own perception of self and experience of self, then we get stronger in ourselves. We get more rooted in who we are, and that allows us to become unshakable and to know what it is, to know our truth, and to go forth and do the things that, you know, we want to do and we want to expand into, that otherwise feel really scary and feel really like nerve-wracking, and like, you know what I mean? So there's this energy right now of like, yes, we're stepping into this like new beginning. You're stepping into this new beginning. You're stepping into your new form of self, your beautiful butterfly self. And it still might feel freaky. It still might feel like you can't trust it. But know that there is nothing out there to hurt you. There's nothing out there that really, I mean, you know what I mean, right? Like the imaginary fears, like the fears inside our heads that come from established belief systems that have found and weaseled their way in there, that have been, or that we've been brainwashed basically into through our families, through our cultures, or through our peers, even just through our own psyche. Like, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of complexity to why we might believe a certain thing is possible or not possible, or how we feel about ourselves in a certain way, what we believe about ourselves. Like, you know, it's not always somebody else's fault, but it's definitely always connected to something that honestly just probably makes sense when you get down there and you see what the root is. You're like, okay, that makes sense. I can see why I built up this belief, or why I have this way of thinking, and you know, and that's okay. So we're looking at this with compassion, and in doing that and moving through this first stage of your new life, you are going to feel so free and so empowered by this journey, but also, you know, in need of regular grounding, in need of regular inner work, in need of, you know, holding your energy a little bit closer. Maybe like contain that beauty, that that feeling of abundance and anticipation, you can hold that within yourself, and you don't need to give it away. You don't need to be telling everybody about it. You don't need to be explaining yourself to people. You can hold close to you that which is sacred, and that will allow you to just feel this like deep, resonant, unshakable abundance and sense of rightness in everything that you do in your daily life. As you walk through the world, you will feel held by yourself and held by the divine and held by your understanding of yourself, when you know what it is that matters to you, and you know that you can trust yourself as well to care for yourself and to care for all the parts of you that have light aspects and shadow aspects. And your parting message, I do just want to say that in this next phase, what will be really beneficial is cleansing your energy. Just make sure that you like take lovely salt baths, do foot soaks, wash your hands if you can't take a shower or a bath or something. Like, do spend lots of time in water and regularly cleanse your space in whatever way feels right for you. I have lots of ways that I do that. You can go on YouTube, look up some witchy, how-to videos. There's so much information out there. But smoke and salt and water are 3 really, really good ways to cleanse yourself and your energy and your body. Also, cleansing your energy by doing kind of more like energetic protection spells will also help you to keep this contained and grounded and clear, aligned energy as you move into this next phase in your beautiful life. Okay? That's it. That's the message today. It's been such a joy to channel this information for you, for us. I love these messages just as much as I hope you do. To me, this space is not just me giving to you, and it's not just me like doing it for me. It's like I intend for this space to be somewhere where we can come together like that bonfire and to share and exchange. And I know it's just me talking out, but I would love to always, whenever you want to just give me feedback or say something to each other or like make connection in some way, reach out in any way you want. I really appreciate that and love that. And any way that you want to support me in my work or this video or anything, like, the channel, I deeply appreciate that. It just allows me to keep doing what I love, and then also allows us to stay connected, which is deeply humbling and exciting for me. So yeah, thank you so much for being here and for listening to the end of the reading. My goodness, I'm so grateful for you, and I am so excited for you to bring your gifts into the world and show us all what you are and who you are and your beautiful, unique, artistic, creative, joyful, and sometimes not so joyful self. All of you is welcome here, okay? See you again soon.